Yeah, hello. So good evening, all. Let's start our sessions today. So this class we are going to talk about VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is something how you look for a data in a table of arrays or a table. So based on the uh, row number, you'll be able to fetch some data in a particular data set. Okay. So for example. Uh, so let's say you have mango ice cream, right? So mango ice cream, this is a list of items. So if you want to look at the mango data, you can select this and you can look up all the values here. So you can look at the small, medium, large, and all the values. So 4, 7, 12. So we passed mango value and we got the values of all the items. So this is called VLOOKUP. So it will fetch all the corresponding values of a particular item. So something like this one. So if you change to a jackfruit, you will see 9, 15, and 19. So all these values will be displayed here. So this is the one we are going to discuss about today, and we'll start with the new Excel. Okay. So we'll first prepare our data. So we'll have items. So let's start. Quantity, okay. Small, medium. So we'll copy all the data from here. Control C, Control V, and we'll give some random values for all the things. So there is a formula to create random numbers. Okay. So RAND, and maybe you can use this one, rand between. Okay. So there is a formula for rand called rand between. So RAND between. So what it does is it generates some random values between a particular set of numbers. So let's say you want to create a random number between 10 and 20. Uh, it will create a random number between 10 and 20. It could be 14. So you drag it down and it gets copied to all the values. So the lowest number will be 10 and the highest number will be 20. So in this case, we don't have 20, but highest number could be 20. So this is how this is just another formula to create our data. So it comes in handy when we do some work with some test data. Okay. So ரேன் பிட்வீன் ஒன்றும் இல்லை. ரேன் பிட்வீன் வந்து ஒரு ஒரு ரேண்டமா ஒரு ஏதோ ஒரு நம்பர் 10ல இருந்து 20க்குள்ள ஒவ்வொரு இதுக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு அசைன் பண்றதுக்காக ஒரு ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன். ஸோ இதுக்கு நம்ம ரேன் பிட்வீன் யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். லெட்ஸ் யூஸ் ரேன் பிட்வீன் ஃபார் தி மீடியம் quantity also. So let's say bottom should be 20 and 30. Okay. So all the values are okay. So large, we'll say another rand between. So bottom value let it be 40 and the maximum value let it be 50. Okay. So press tab, you will get the formula updated, and you drag the formula down. You'll have random numbers generated for this data. So uh, let's say these are the price of all the items. Okay, so we have a shop and we have some items. So let's say it's juice. Okay, and we have two categories, mango and juice and ice cream. So all the prices are listed here. So let's put some dollar sign for the numbers. So go to home and go to accounting number format, and you can click and you can choose dollar English Singapore. So you'll have a dollar prefixed with the numbers there. So this is the first part, the data creation, and just rename our Excel to VLOOKUP. Okay, VLOOKUP. So first let's do this first sample. So first let's based on the numbers, based on the item, we'll find the small, medium, and large quantity of large quantity prices of each item. So first create that sample here. So fetch, let's say, find price for which item. So we should be able to select one any one of these items. So what do we do in this case is we have learned about creating a list. So we talked about how to create a lockdown value, right? So we are going to use that functionality. So select the cell, uh, go to data, and there is something called data validation. Hope you remember. So click on data validation, click on go to settings. So there is a allow option called, there is an option called list. Okay. So use click on the list and you have to select the source of the list. So the source of the list is all this data. So mango A4 to A9. So click on this and you will be able to select the item. So click A4 to A9 and click enter. So click OK. You will have a drop down symbol here, and using this drop down, you will be able to choose any one of these items. So based on the item selected, we have to find the price of each item. So we are going to use a function called Vlookup for that. So Vlookup. So when we pass mango, so when we pass an item, we can find the corresponding uh, rows value. So if you pass jackfruit, you'll be able to get the price of jackfruit since it's in the same row. So we'll write a formula for this. So first we'll say small. We have to find the VLOOKUP value for the small for any item that we going to choose. Okay, so formula is V LOOK lookup press tab. Okay, so now the lookup value. So what is the price of the? So now we have to pass we have to pass four values for the lookup function. So first one is the in this example the price of what is the item to be searched. Okay, so we are going to search for the items column. So and it can be chosen in this find price text, right? So you choose B12. So this is the place where we're going to fill the price of a item. I mean the item to be searched. Okay, so press comma. So the table array. So now you have to find the data where all the quantity is going to be available. So we have to click on table array and you can choose this mango to uh, the all the prices. So if you choose this one here, right? So you select here, you will see the number of rows and columns are selected. So 6 rows and 4 columns. 6R into 4C is 6 rows and 4 columns is being selected. So selection is done. So press comma. I know you have to give the column index. So we have something called the value small here, right? So small. So we this data table array, right? The table array which is mentioned here, right? So is has 6 rows and 6 rows and 4 columns. So column number one, column number two, column number three, column number four. So what in the current so we have to search for the value small. So small, all the values of small is present in the column number 2. So we have to choose column index number 2. So chosen that. And range lookup we don't we can, I think we can ignore. Okay, so or so last value you press false. Okay, so this will give you whether we have to find the exact value or the approximate value. So we'll give the exact match. Okay, so we'll choose false. Okay, select false, and the formula is done now. So we are given we have get a not applicable or a or error symbol since we haven't selected any price value here. So if you choose mango, right? So you should be able to see the value of the mango here. So value of mango is 11. So we have chosen mango here, and we got the price of the mango, small price of the small quantity of the mango juice. Okay, so this is how we do a VLOOKUP. So if you see the formula again, now first one we have to pass the item item to be searched for, look for. Okay, so the item to be looked for is present in the cell B12, which is selected here and which is passed as the first parameter of the function. And next, you have to choose the select the data array, table array. So from where the data needs to be fetched. Okay. So we have chosen from all the data present in this cell. So we have chosen A4 to D9. So A4 is this one and D9 is this one. So it's going to select all the rows and columns between these two cells. And third value to be passed is the where the desired value. So we're trying to find out the price of the small quantity of each item, right? So we that is present in the column number 2. So we have passed to second column here, and third thing is do we have to find an exact match or an approximate match. So we are choosing exact match and it's given false for that. So that's the formula explanation. Okay, so this one. Yeah, maybe we can try for true also. So true. Okay, we won't be able to select. Okay. See, even when we pass MANG, right, we are able to select the get the value of the mango. MA, since it's an approximate, it's an approximate match. So it's going to find the best match and give the item value. So let's say STRAW strawberry. So it found I think it found took 17. So it took the approximate value. Of that particular item. So this is the difference between approximate and an exact match. Okay, so let's say we'll try ice cream. Okay, ice cream. So when you say retrace, so it will fetch the what happened? So mango. So that's it. So this is how we find the small value. So maybe we'll do an example for the medium value also. So medium. Uh, so we look up. So someone want to try any someone want to try this? யாராவது சொல்ல முடியுமா எப்படி பண்றோம்ட்டு? Okay, so we look up so first you have to find the lookup value. So lookup value is still mango, so that which is present in the cell B12. So click on this, select B12 comma. So table array is still the same, right? So we have to select all the rows and columns of the items present. So choose all the things, comma, and now we have to pass a column index. So, and we are going to find the medium value of the of each item. So that is present at column number 3. So this is column number 1, column number 2, and this is column number 3. Press press column number select column number 3, comma, and we'll pass approx exact match. Okay, so exact match. Close this and you should be able to find the approximate values of the median values of all the items. So now you choose mango, which is 15 and 30. So we have found all these two values, and if you choose mango ice cream, it should be 10 and 27. And so if you can choose any item you want, and so let's choose jackfruit. So jackfruit is 16 and 24. So maybe we'll find the value of the large item also. We'll do it quickly. So is equal to V lookup. Uh, so lookup value we have to find is this cell B12, comma the table array still lies the same. Mango. Okay, comma, and the column index is 1, 2, 3, 4. Column number index is 4, comma, will pass false. Okay. So now the price of jackfruits is $40. Okay, so we have found all the values based on the using the VLOOKUP function. So any doubts in this? ஏதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா கேட்கலாம், இல்ல வேற ஏதாவது இன்னொரு இதுலயே டீப்பா எக்ஸாம்பிள் பண்ணலாம். கனகராஜா சொல்றீங்களா? கனகராஜா சொல்ல வரீங்களா? இல்ல கேக்கல கிளியரா? So we'll do the same some other example. Okay. So let's say let's categorize this all the items based on some value. So let's say let's say let's create a lookup table. Okay, uh, lookup data. Okay, so let's say we want to categorize whether it's an ice cream or a juice. Okay, so category. So I have to find out whether it's a juice. Okay, every time it changes. Okay. So these are all juice and this is ice cream. So based on some lookup table, we have to identify whether it's a juice or a table. Okay, so 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 now we are typing it manually. Instead of typing it manually, we have to find it using the table. So let's copy this table and we create it here. Okay, so mango, and let's categorize each of this item. So juice, this is a juice. Okay, Juice, and juice, 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 ice cream. Okay, ice cream. So save, and so now we have to find the category of, so is equal to, and so now we have to find out whether mango is an ice cream or a juice, right? So and for those all those mappings, right? So whether it's an ice cream or a juice, all this data is present in. So all this data is present in this table. So in the sheet lookup. So based on these mappings, we have to categorize and fill this column. So is equal to we lookup. We lookup. So now we have to pass mango, right? So mango is present in the column A4. So select A4, comma. Now we have to give the table array. So click on table array, and now we have to look the data in the data mapping table is here in the sheet, right? So click on the sheet, click on this rows and records. Munnadi கூட்டிட்டு போ. Light off பண்ணிடு. Sorry. So the data is present in this table, right? So we have chosen the table. So that means the table is lookup. I mean, the sheet is lookup, and we have selected these rows and columns to map for the data mapping. So comma. Now the column index you have to give, right? So column index is the data is. I mean, the result should be is present in the column number 2, right? So give 2. And give false for this. So false will give the accurate result. So FAL false will give the exact match for the result. So once this is choose, press enter and it will come to the, we found a typo in your formula. Okay. 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 So okay, we got the category anyway. So yeah. So now using that formula, we have found the category of each of the items. So we didn't type it manually, but using the formula, we matched the data with this table and we have filled up this table. So the formula is equal to VLOOKUP A4. So A4 is the column number, and lookup, and we are, the data table is present here in this column, right? Okay, this one. And the column number is the second column. So one first column and second column is chosen, and we have given the data. So and we are passing false to find the since an exact match. Okay. So if you go on to each formula, right, you can see the table. Uh, so there is an issue with this data, right? So then we drag down. We have to find. So let's say we do this drag down, right? So the formula copies to the subsequent rows. So when we pass the subsequent rows, the column number, the values also gets increased. So if you see here, it's A4 and A3, B8. Okay, so if you select here, you can see A5, A4, and B9. So that's not correct because A5 is okay. So we are passing the right value here, but the data table should be the whole thing, right? It should be absolute value. So it cannot change the it should not be incremental. So do that. We can use dollar symbol. So dollar A, $4, and give dollar B, $9. Okay. Okay, we'll do it here. We'll select $4, $3, $B, $8. Now, if you drag down the values, right, you won't see that this value changes. This value doesn't change, so it will remain A3, B8 alone. Okay, so click down. So now if you go through these columns, right, so you can see A3 and B8, A4, it still is A3 and B8. This makes sure that we are looking at the right table at any point of time. So it's not incremental as is done for this value. So that's the difference between putting a dollar sign and without dollar sign. So this is called an absolute reference, and this is the normal reference we use usually. So for these kind of lookup tables, right? It's better. It's always good to go with the absolute reference. Okay, so yeah, so this is another example of VLOOKUP, which we're referring to the another sheet. So any doubts in this? Okay. So we'll extend our example a bit more. Okay, so we'll get some other data. Let's say let's copy this data here. Control C. So for this table, right, we'll add some owner and shop owner, and based on the owner, we'll find the shop location. Okay. Uh, so owner. So we'll put John. Robert, so we'll put another John here, and could be. Okay, Okay, so first we'll find the based on this data, right? We'll find the location of the store. Okay, so the formula is again the same thing. So we look up. So we have to find the value in the owner row. So owner lookup value is it's F4, comma, and table array is in we look up this thing. So this is a table array. So we don't choose the headers and we just select the rows. Now, if you see the selection, right, it is a normal selection. So it doesn't have an absolute reference, but for lookup tables, we need an absolute reference, right? There is a shortcut for it. So press F4 and you will see an absolute reference for all the values. So it changed to $H $8. So press F4 for this value also. So now it's changed to an absolute reference, right? So the shortcut to be used is F4 to be taken no, noted, okay? And the column is second column. And as usual, we'll pass false since we need an exact match. So now we have found the value for John. So John store location is Saugang. So sorry. Okay, so we need to find the location, right? We have mentioned okay, location is third column. So we have to change the column 3. Okay, yeah. So now we find the location. So if you drag down, right, you will find all the values, but two rows shows errors because these values are not present in the lookup table. So go to Anand. So we'll add all these values again. Anand, we'll say, okay, we'll say Chennai. Okay. Okay, store name is Bliss and location is Chennai. That's it, Chennai, right? And now even if you select it, you won't get the values because so someone could answer this. So since already we have added the data, but the data is still not applicable. But still we have the mapping or the lookup table with data. So anyone can answer this. So why the data is not selected? Why we still see an error for Anand and Brito? Brito is okay. So Brito we haven't added the data yet, but Anand why have we haven't seen any data? So யாராவது சொல்ல முடியுமா? So formula இங்கே இருக்கு. So any idea? கனகராஜ் ஞாபகம் வருது. புரியுதா? இல்ல ஏன்
நான் பேச கேக்குதா சார்?
சொல்லுங்க. ஏன் வரல சொல்லுங்க.
இந்த காலம் தானே சார்?
F4 H8 செலக்ட் பண்ணிருக்கோம்.
F4
ஓகே. சோ F4 இவ்வளவுதான் நம்ம சோ இது H இது 8. ஸோ நம்ம இவ்வளவுதான் செலக்ட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஸோ அதான் இஷ்யூ. ஸோ நம்ம சூஸ் பண்ண டேட்டா வந்து இதுல நம்ம சூஸ் பண்ணல. ஓகே, ஸோ வி ஹேவன்ட் ஆனது வந்து அந்த மேப்பிங்ல இல்ல. ஸோ H8 F4 H8 வந்து செலக்ட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். பாத்தீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். மியூட் பண்றேன். ஸோ பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸோ நம்ம செலக்ஷன்ல வந்து so we have selected only these number of records. So we haven't selected Anand as part of the lookup table. So we have to change the thing. So instead of H8, we have to give H9. Okay. So now drag all the values. You should be able to find Chennai. So still Brito is not added. So all you have to do is add Brito to the table and So give uh, என்ன பேர் கொடுக்கலாம், maybe so Mumbai. Okay, so now we shouldn't we are not seeing it because we haven't changed the records. Okay, so select up to H10, and again we have to apply the formula to the subsequent rows. So now you should be able to see the all the values. So this is another example of VLOOKUP. So this one is simple. So for first step is simple. So we did it in the same sheet. And the second step also is simple, but we refer to the lookup tables in another sheet. So this is about VLOOKUP, okay? And okay, maybe we'll so one thing to be noted in lookup tables, right? So the lookup table we can refer to the right only. So let's say so this is our table, right? And we can do is we can pass John and pass any values and find any values to the right only. So let's say you want to pass Haugang and you want to refer some values to the uh, at the left of the column. So that cannot be done in lookup table. So so if you want to find the location, if you want to find the store name based on the location, you have no other go but to move all the so control X, control V. So you have to move the columns to the left, and then only you can use the VLOOKUP table. So that's one limitation or point to be noted while using lookup tables, right? So you cannot because the column index, right? So we choose only 1, 2, and 3. So the first one should be always a reference, and the second one could be and second, we can look up the values in the second or third column only. So this is one point to be noted while using lookup tables, and we cannot give minus negative values here, right? So this is one thing to be noted in lookup tables. Okay, and yep. So okay. Uh, so we'll talk about another example. There is something called H lookup. Uh, so H lookup and HLOOKUP is similar, but in VLOOKUP we look for vertical columns, and in HLOOKUP we look for a horizontal record. So uh, let's create this data first. So let's say there is a sales agent, okay, sales agent, and we'll give a name agent one, agent two, okay, and okay, let's say we have a number of agents. So agent 1 to agent 16. And so quantity. So let's say he has done some sales, okay, and we'll give random numbers for all the quantity. And it could be based on the formula. So we learned one formula, right? So there's something called rand. So rand, if you okay, rand between. So select rand between, press tab, and let's give it between 200 and 2000. So close a bracket and you could see a random number. Okay, so copy that formula up to here. So you will see some random numbers from anywhere between 200 to 2000 for all the agents. So let's say this is quantity, and similarly we'll say revenue. So revenue is that's also we use random rand between. Okay, rand between. Let's say 10,000 and 20,000. Okay, sorry, I think it's 1 lakh and 10,000 and 20,000. Okay, so we'll copy the formula. So sales revenue is between all these values. Okay, and again we'll say price, some price, maybe a price of each quantity. So we'll give rand between 100 and 200. Close the bracket. Select this record. Apply all the formula hold. Set of rows. Okay. So now we are going to learn about H lookup, right? H lookup. So based on the agent name, we have to uh, find the quantity, revenue, and price. So first we'll use find agent. Okay, and so so we'll use a data list similarly. So go to data, and under data you go to data validation under list, and so you choose all the lists between these things. So we have so if you see here we have chosen one row and some number of columns. So let's see it again. So we chosen one row and 13 columns. You can see it in the tooltip there, and press enter, and you should be able to see all the agents name in this drop down list. So we use data validation for this to fill the drop down. Okay, so this one, and we'll find the quantity, revenue, and price. Okay, so first could be agent 3, agent 4. Okay, so is equal to something called H lookup. So H lookup and H lookup and V lookup is similar, but the only thing is you will look up values in a horizontal second, let's say horizontal set of records. So all these values are so the headers are present at the vertical at the column level, right? So all the headers are present here, and the data is present at the row level. So we so that's the difference. So we choose the tables first. We'll choose all the table. So this is the table for reference where we have to find all the values, comma, and row index column. So now we have to choose a rows which has a value. So we have chosen quantity, right? So based on the agent, we have to find the quantity, and quantity is present at row number 2. So this is the first row, and this is second row, third row, and fourth row. So quantity is present at the second row. So we have to choose 2, comma, and as usual, we'll give a exact match, and the value for it is false. Okay, so now 1573 for agent 4. You can see it here. So if you change the agent, you will see a different value. So agent 8 has 531, and it could be agent 13 could be 1045, and you should find the appropriate value here. So similarly, we'll do for revenue also. So H lookup, no. So now we have to copy the values, right? Instead of doing that, we'll copy the values and see what is the problem, if you see any problem. So, okay. See, now when you drag the formula down, right? So it was the item to be find is B8, right? So quantity is fine. But if you see the revenue, right? It is B2 to N5. So B2 to N5 is here. So revenue for agent 13 is 14,220. Okay, we'll we will try with absolute reference. Okay, so $1, $2, and $4. Okay, and so I copy the formulas. Now we see an error. So it's looking for B9 correct. So we have to find values in B8, right? So we drag down. So okay, got it. So it should be B8, and it should be always B8, right? So we should give absolute reference for this one. So okay, so if you drag down, the values doesn't change. So it is fetching all the values of agent 13 1932. So second column values is being fetched. Okay, so data table and the lookup value doesn't change, but all we have to change now is so 3 column 3 and for this price we have to change to column row 1 2 3 4 row 4. So now you should see the correct values here. So is that clear, everyone? Is there any doubts in this? So the H lookup, we are finding the values in this way. So we'll find a value in the agent one, and as usual, like the VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP should be the first row. For VLOOKUP, the data to be looked up will be as a first column, and for HLOOKUP, it should be the first row. So agent one is the first row always. So and okay, yeah, that's the difference between a VLOOKUP and a HLOOKUP. Any doubts in this? You want to ask anything? யாருக்கா டவுட்ஸ் இருக்கா? எதா இருந்தா கேட்கலாம்.
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
ஒன்றும் இல்லையா? ஓகே, ஸோ ஓகே ஓகே, நான் சொல்றேன் திருப்பியும் இன்னொரு டேட்டா. ஸோ வி saw an example with the table arrays, right? Instead of table arrays, we'll use data tables. And for creating data tables, first we have to create a data table, right? So let's create a data table example. So instead of looking at a table of array, we'll look at a table and we'll try to fetch the values from the table. Okay. Uh, so okay, examples here. Year, month, passenger. So let's say year, month, and passengers. So okay, we're using ran between. We'll choose random months, years, right? So could be from 2000 to 2020. Close the bracket and copy the formula up to certain number of rows. So we have filled the formula with the data, fill the years with the random years between, and to create a random months, we have to choose between 1 and 12. Okay, so 1 and 12 we'll choose. Okay, and passengers could be rand between 2000 and 10,000. Okay. So based on this record, we are going to create a table in Excel. Okay, so we've seen about tables previously, right? So go to Insert, uh, and there's an option called Table. Okay, so click on the table. Now you should see the table, and with the uh, row selected row selected automatically. So since you have selected automatically, right? Then only click table, right? So you should see C5 to E17. So based on this data only, table is going to be created, and we have a header for this table also. So year, month header, passengers header, right? So we choose my table as header. So since we have headers of the table as part of the table, we're going to choose check that checkbox. Okay, click OK. Now you should see an uh, table created. Okay, so now we have to look up the months and passengers based on the year. Okay, and if you choose find, let's say find, yeah, and data table. So we are going to choose a drop down, right? We used to choose. So go to data validation, and we'll choose list, and source should be, can we choose this one table? Okay, we'll choose all the rows, enter, and now you should see all the years passed. Okay, so we have to find the appropriate month and the number of passengers. Okay, so choose 2020. You should see. Okay, so 2020 is here. Okay, uh, month. So we'll do. So since data is present at the column level, we'll choose VLOOKUP. Okay, VLOOKUP. So lookup value should be this cell, and which is I5, comma. Instead of table array, we choose a set of rows, right? Instead of that, we can choose to select a data table. So our table name is table one, right? So this is the name of our table which we created. So click on table one. Okay, table one, and you can see the table selected automatically. And now we have to pass the month. So month is in column two. Okay, comma two, comma false. So we're going to look up for absolute value. I mean exact match. So now you should see no value. So because it's random, right? It's continuously changing. So we'll choose 2019. So 2019 is 3, and we have passengers 5463. So now you have to find the passengers. So we look up. So we look up value should be 2019. Okay, so comma table array. So should be the table name is table one, right? Table one. So instead of selecting a particular set of rows and columns, we have selected a table we have created using Excel. So that is the thing to be noted here. And the passengers is in third column, 1, 2, and 3, third column, comma, and match should be exact match. So we are passing false. Now you should be able to see the 2019. So 2019 is here, and you should see 83259. So based on this values, we have looked up for a particular value, and 2015. So we got an error because these values are randomly generated and it's continuously getting updated, and we don't have 2015 here. So that's the reason we are seeing an error here. So let's say 2017, right? So 2017 is here, and with the value 7 and 4955. Okay, so this is one thing. And also to be noted in this VLOOKUP, right? Let's say we have two values, okay? 2013. Okay, let's remove this thing, okay? Instead of 2012, 2014, okay? So I'm removing the random thing, okay? So I'm removing the random thing and copying a continuous set of rows. So maybe we'll give 2018 here, 2020 here, okay? So now the month and value will be, so I've just given a sequence of numbers instead of random set of numbers, okay? So let's say you choose 2018, right? So 2018, if you see in this filter, right, select all, click OK, 2018. So we have two records for 2018. Okay, what happened? So it's always going to find the first record alone. So if you see uh, month and year, okay. So is equal to VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP. What is this? Okay. So table 1, comma, month is 2, comma, false. Okay. Okay, false. I will give false. So you'll get month of first year only. So since there are, so in VLOOKUP, it will always find the first match and it will ignore the second match if it's if there is any. So since we have two columns for 2018, right? It will find the first match and ignore 4 here. So that's the thing about VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. It's always going to find the first exact match. So if there is no exact match, it's going to, if there are two or many exact matches, it's going to ignore the, ignore all other than the first one. So this is one thing. So we'll finish the formula for year also. So VLOOKUP. Okay. There is another formula with the VLOOKUP. Where to find for I15, comma. So table 1, comma, column 3. Column index is 3 and match is false. 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 So now we'll always find the exact matches. So we'll clear all the selections. Select all. Click OK. Okay. So this is the reason. Okay. So this is an example using data table. No, data table. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So any doubts in this? ஏதாவது doubts இருந்தா கேட்கலாம் இப்போ. இல்ல நான் எல்லாம் புரிஞ்சிருச்சா இல்ல ஏதாவது சொல்லணுமா இல்ல இன்னொரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஏதாவது போடலாமா?
எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுங்க சார் இன்னொரு முறை.
என்னங்க இன்னொரு தடவை சொல்லட்டா?
இன்னொரு முறை சொல்லுங்க.
சரி, ஓகே. ஓகே. ஸோ நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லேருந்து டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணலாம் இன்னைக்கு நம்ம படிச்சதெல்லாம். ஓகே. ஸோ ஸோ we learned about VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP this week. Okay. And so using VLOOKUP, we can pass in a value, pass in an what do you call it? So we can pass in a lookup value and pass in a table of arrays or a data where we need to look up and which column has the result in the set of table in the table array. So and we have to pass whether it's exact or approximate match for all those ones. So these are the four important parameters for the VLOOKUP function. So yeah, so we chose, right? So first we generated some random values. Okay. So if you see small, medium and large, so this should be the table. This is our VLOOKUP table, and based on these items we are going to find the small, medium or large quantity prices for each item, so or the selected item in the drop down list. So first thing we have to create this drop down list using the data validation functionality. So if you go, so that's in data ribbon and data validation. Click data validation, select list, and you could see the rows selected. So if you click on this, and you will see mango to strawberry. So all this values are selected for the values in the drop down list. Okay. So click OK, and now you should be able to see all those values. And so first now we have to write the VLOOKUP formula to find the small quantity price of in each item. So there is something called functionality called VLOOKUP. So is equal, the formula is VLOOKUP, pass in the appropriate value. So lookup value. So lookup value is our items in the table. Okay. So this should be the for a or leftmost column for in the table of arrays too while using lookup. So you cannot pass in the large value on the right, and you cannot look up value mango or the item name here. So we have to pass from uh, left to right. So what it does is when you pass strawberry, right, it comes here, it finds the first matching value of strawberry and it goes to the right. Okay, it goes to the right, and it finds the corresponding column number. So since the data is all this, right, so this is a column 1, column 2 and column 3. So based on column number, it will fetch the appropriate match. So in the small value, so when you choose strawberry, right, it comes down up to here and it selects the appropriate strawberry small quantity value. So if you see the formula here, right, so you see the second column that's being passed. So the highlighted table of arrays, right, the we are going to fetch the second value. So using the lookup value from the first column. So we have passed in strawberry and we have fetched the small quantity. So similarly we can do it for the other prices, medium and large quantity prices also. So the only difference is we have to change the uh, column number. Instead of 2, we are going to refer the column. We are going to fetch the columns from the fetch values from the column 3, so which is medium. So that's the only difference between small, medium, and large. And the last column, as I said earlier, it's for finding the exact match, not the So if you pass false, it will give you the exact match, and if you pass true, it will give you an approximate match. So approximate match, it could match one or two values, or it will find the best value of the selected columns. Okay, selected list. Okay, so this is about VLOOKUP. And yeah, so this example is basically a simple example where we refer to a column, where we refer to a column in the same Excel sheet. So the same sheet. So now we will try something where the lookup table data is present is in some other Excel sheet called lookup, some other sheet. Okay, so from uh, from the input from this sheet, we are referring to a sheet called lookup, and based on the lookup data, we are going to populate. We are going to fetch the values of the owner. Okay, so now we are given the owner value here. Hmm, why the location is false? Okay. So we have given random owner values here. Okay, John, Anand, and okay. Sorry. First, we'll find the category. Okay, so if you see this table, right? So now we have to categorize whether the item is a juice or a ice cream. Okay. So based on this lookup values. Okay. So here we have a table. We have a set of rows and columns where we defined whether the particular item is a juice or an ice cream. So there are only two categories, and we have to based on this mapping table or lookup table, we have to populate the category column here. So the formula to do that is equal to VLOOKUP. As usual, we have to do the VLOOKUP, and for this we are getting the input from the column number, cell number A4. So if you click here and see, you have chosen A4 here. The lookup table, the second value is table array, right? So table array we have chosen from the sheet lookup, and so first, so the content before this exclamatory mark is the sheet name, and after this so when you say some text and exclamatory mark, it will go fetch the values from the sheet lookup. So there is a sheet named lookup, and it will look for the columns A3 to B8. So it will look for the absolute reference A3 and B8, which is all these values. So it starts from A3 to B8. And now there are only two columns. So first one is the lookup value column, and second one is the exact category match. Okay. So now we have to refer to the second column, since we have the category value in the second column only. So we are given two, and as usual we are given false since we need an exact match. So once that's done, so all you have to do is drag the drop down and you will see the categories based on this lookup table. Okay. Yep. So yeah, so this is one example, and again we'll see another example for based on the owners. Okay, so now we are going to instead of the my item, right? So instead of based on the shop owner, we are going to find the location of the column. So we have given the random owners for all random owners for the each of the shop. Okay, so we're given John, Robert, and all these values. Now we have to go to lookup. Okay, so lookup, There is something wrong with this table. Okay. So we are getting the F4 correct. Okay, lookup value is here. It's all these records, right? So maybe we'll try the formula again. So is equal to V lookup. So we have to find the based on the owner. So click on owner, comma. Now the table array is present in this column. And click all this thing. Select all the rows, comma. So column and so we have to find the location. Oh, okay. So now I found the value. So you remember, right? Uh, we moved the location. So we moved the location column from the left. So the lookup value should be the leftmost, right? So so that's the reason we are not able to see any rows. So lookup table doesn't have a mini mapping value. So that's the reason we are getting an error or a zero value here. So what I do is again we have to cut control X cut and paste all the values here. And now we are trying the formula again. So is equal to V lookup G10 and the column number is 2 FALJC. So now E4 G10, okay. F, so it should be F4 and H10, okay. So the value should be F4 and H10. So if you see John is in F4 and Mumbai is in H10. So we should be using, uh, okay, so for this F4 and H10. So, yep, that's it. Okay, F4, H10. Okay, press enter. And then you find an approximate value. So drag the list down and you see Mumbai for everything. Okay, and the reason is so one thing we have to do, right? So we have to create absolute reference for all those values, right? So dollar F4, $4, so dollar H10, okay. So Anand is throwing error because Anand should be Chennai, right? ANAD. It's looking for F6, right? Okay, F6. What is the issue here? So it's looking for values in H. So we'll write the formula. It's looking for values in H, and so table array is still this column. Okay, comma 1, 2, and 3. Third column, right? Third column. Give false. Yeah, now we got the values. F4 HTML, F4 HTML, F4 HTML should be an absolute value. Okay, there is an issue. Okay, what is the reason? F9. Ah, comma, column 3, comma, FALSE false. Yeah, now we got the value. So this is another example based on the table in another sheet. Okay, so now we'll talk about uh, H lookup. So we created random agent names using the sequence agent 1, agent 2, agent 3, and agent 4. So we just dragged all the values and we just populated random values. And so quantity based on rand between. So we use a formula to generate random numbers between bottom and top numbers. So based on between 2 and 2000, we generated some random values. So similarly, we generated revenue and price between a certain set of numbers. Okay. So now we are, instead of doing a, since the value is present at the row level, we are going to use H lookup, horizontal lookup to the rows to find the lookup values based on the agent name. So let's say, okay, so first thing we are going to form the drop down list. So drop down list as usual, go to data ribbon. Under data ribbon, there's data tools. Data tools, we have something called data validation. So click on that, click settings, uh, click the list, and you choose all the values and select the input values. So click on this and select all the values with the agent names. So click enter, click OK. You should be able to see all the name of the agents in this drop down list. So we will see up from agent 1 to agent 13. Based on H lookup, right? We are going to find the values this way. So we are going to find agent 4 maybe, and we are going to come down. So from agent 4, we are going to come this way. So from left to right and right to bottom, we are going to fetch the value. So if you see quantity, right? So first we have chosen the value We have chosen value, absolute reference value B3 and B8. Okay, so this is the input for the lookup, which is agent name. And now we have to select the agent table array, the second parameter, right? So we have chosen all the values from uh, B1 to N4. So if you see here, you see B1 to N4, and the column quantity is row number 2. So first row, second row, third row, and fourth row. So quantity is present in the second row, so we've chosen 2, and we get false. And now based on this thing, we should be able to see the approximate value. So agent 9 as 1419 is the quantity. So now what we're trying to do is we are going to copy the value from copy the quantity revenue price to formula to the other subsequent rows. So we have chosen we are given absolute reference for all the values, right? Mm, if you see here, right, control X. So we are given absolute reference for all the values. So absolute reference in the sense it won't change when we it won't increment when you drag the when you drag and apply the formula to the subsequent rows. So so we apply the formulas. So now we have to change. So we are drag down the formula, but if you see here, right, it still has the input as B8. Okay, so for from our example, the input always is going to be the agent 9, so which is B8. So to find the quantity, revenue, and price for all the formulas, we are going to fetch the values from B8 only. So we are given absolute reference uh, for all the result values. And for the table also, it's not going to change ever, right? So for the table also, we're given absolute reference. And now the third thing, right, when you copy the formula, you have to change just the third value. So which is the column index. So call the quantity, revenue, and price are in different row index rows. So quantity is present in second row, revenue is present in third row, and this one is present in fourth row. So give 3. Okay, 3, enter, and 4, enter. Yep. So now for the agent 9, right? You should see 294, 19742, and 189. So I think this should be clear for you all right? And so we now, instead of selecting a set of random set of rows, we are going to select using a data table. So data table, we saw how to create it, right? So we first have to, let's say we'll create a data table. So first you have to type in all the values, then go to insert, and there is some option called table. So this option is not being selected. Uh, God. Yeah. If you want, you can change the table name here. So let's say sales, okay. Mm, Sales table. So now if you see, the name of the table should be sales table. And if you see the reference, right, it automatically changes to sales table. Right. So that's one thing. So we have month column, passenger column, and based on the lookup value year, we are going to find the month in the passenger number of passengers travel on a particular train or whatever it is. So first column is the input value. Okay. So first, as you do VLOOKUP, right? So the leftmost column should be the lookup value. And so if you see here, year, okay, leftmost table should be the lookup value. And the second thing, right, the data table. So In so we have given the name of the Excel table here. So the name of the Excel table here is sales table. So we have given sales table here, and we have chosen the column two for month. So we are, since we are finding the month of uh, I mean the month of the data, right? So we are passing the second, so which is the second column, and as usual we are going to find the exact value. So this is one thing, and if you see here, right? So if you see the passengers, you have to give the same input lookup value, but same data table array, or and we have to pass the third column instead of the second column. So that's the only change between these two formulas. So using those formulas, we can find the H lookup. I mean, the we can use H lookup. Sorry, V lookup on a data table. Yeah, so that's it for this week. So any doubts in this? You have anything to ask? ஏதாவது டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா இப்ப கேட்கலாம், இல்லாட்டி இன்னைக்கு கிளாஸ் முடிச்சிடலாம். So anything you guys didn't understood, or you have any doubts that you can ask? It's the right time to ask now. Okay.
It also. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. I'll stop recording.